What's going on, guys? Kaz, the Elevateyourcraft, here for another episode of Journey of a Magic the Gathering Beginner. And as you can see, just going over this Boros deck that I've been playing, considering how to change it, if I should change it, that kind of thing. Also, in front of me here in the actual paper cards, I have a Grixis control deck, and it's based off of Andrew Jessup's list. I think it was the Star City Games event that happened over this past weekend where he used it. And I knew maybe going back a month and a half that I wanted to play Grixis. I bought the land early on. This is kind of when M19 was out, and Guilds of Ravnica hadn't come out yet, in anticipation of playing it. So it was kind of cool to see that it had a pretty good showing at the event. Now, it was a team event, so I honestly don't know if he kind of got carried, whether it was the best deck. But, that's okay. It's a place to start. So I have that right in front of me here, all the paper cards, complete with the nickel boluses, the Dream Eaters. And I wanted to put the list up on Arena here, but unfortunately I don't have all the cards, and it doesn't allow you to actually just put a list together of cards that you don't own, unfortunately, which is a little annoying. So I can't really display all of the deck here, but anyway, it plays a few Essence Scatter, 3 Notion Rain, 4 Thought Erasure, 6 Swamp, 2 Sulphur Falls, 2 Island, 4 Drown Catacomb. I'm kind of just reading them out as I have them laid out here. 3 Ritual of Soot, 4 Vraska's Contempt, 4 Watery Grave, 4 Dragon Skull Summit, 2 Syncopate, 2 Search for Ascanta, 1 Fungal Infection, 4 Moment of Craving, 4 Steam Vents, 1 Eldest Reborn, 4 Nicol Bolas the Ravager, and 3 copies of Dream Eater. So this is the deck I think I'll start with in Standard, and part of the beginner's journey aspect of this episode is I've laid this deck out, and whether I continue playing it in this iteration is doubtful, because especially control decks, they seem to evolve as the meta takes shape and we understand what cards are great, what's not great. Over the past week, in the events that have happened in the new Standard, it looks like aggro decks are most popular, and they tend to be in new formats. So I think this deck was put together with that in mind. The 3 Essence Scatter, the 3 mainboard Ritual of Soot, Vraska's Contempt is certainly not a surprise. In the sideboard, we have there was the 2 Golden Demise. A lot of removal. Sweepers in particular. Sweepers seem to be pretty good right now for that reason. There's a lot of really aggressive decks. So I think this deck in front of me here was put together with that in mind, that aggressive decks are going to come storming out of the gates early on, and you need to deal with it. So whether I play this exact iteration, in the weeks and months to come, I don't know. I have a feeling that it will change as the control decks evolve and mold to the current meta. But the current meta to the evolving meta, I should say. But what getting this deck does is allow me to really understand, or try to understand anyway. That's the beginning or beginner's aspect of this, is what the deck is trying to do. And the big guys in it are Nicol Bolas and Dream Eater, and then we want to work our way up to that guy or those guys, and then use them to close out the game. And then early on, we have the cheaper spells like Essence Scatter, like Thought Erasure, a Moment of Craving, that cheap removal to deal with cheap threats, cheap creature threats, but also Thought Erasure to get rid of those cards or our opponent's resources early on. And then, of course, the Ritual of Soot to deal with, again, those creature based decks that want to do damage, a lot of damage early on, have a low mana curve, tend to get those decks out, or sorry, those creatures out very quickly. The Search for Azcanta, great in control matchups, of course. The Syncopates, which seem to be really good early, but lose their effectiveness later on. And I would think that's true more for control matchups and things like that, where, you know, as the mid to late game happens, the mana pool is fairly large, so Syncopate just kind of loses its value. But for things that just want to stay on curve, like this deck here that I have made, like a Boros deck, or the mono red aggro that just want to play out their curve, Syncopate can be pretty effective. The Fungal Infection, and this is one I'm trying to think of, well, why did he include this in the deck? The 1 power creatures out there right now, I'm trying to think maybe in the mono red, I would guess. Let's see what we can do here. Just to narrow this down and maybe use Arena to help us out, to allow us to look. There we go. So what are the creatures that are pretty popular? I mean, Banneret, it obviously works. Hunted Witness, it works. Gitu Lava Runner, not so much. But it could also be a great way to just bring out the Saproling and get a body in front of something. Fanatical Firebrand is in the aggressive decks right now, so it works well there. So I'm guessing that's what it was brought in for. Maybe let's see if there's any. The Witness we had as a 1 toughness creature. Dauntless Bodyguard I've seen in a couple net decks. So really I'm thinking it has to do with just aggressive decks that have, you know, 1 toughness creatures, and even token decks too. Just as a way to deal with them while also putting up another body as a potential blocker or something like that. There's another one in the main board. Thought Erasure kind of talked about. It's just a great way to rid your opponent's hand of great resources. So an early play that we want. Notion Rain doesn't seem great in aggressive matchups where you want to maintain a higher life total. But really in other matchups, an awesome card. Surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. Really great for getting what you want, and that's the 3 mana curve. And then I think the Eldest Reborn is an interesting addition here. I could see it maybe even boarding another, or even main boarding, I'm not sure, 1 more. For, I guess, those really hefty creatures, like the Lyras, like maybe the Angels, things like that, where even in control matchups, maybe where they bring in a big creature in order to maybe for the control matchup, or something like that, or they bring in something huge and then, you know, they're forced to sacrifice it, right? So Eldest Reborn seems pretty good. So essentially what I think, if I understand what's going on with this deck, is it's working around Nicol Bolas and the Dream Eater. And, you know, early on, we're just looking to remove resources from the opponent's hand and then also deal with early creatures. Of course, with the Sweepers, the Vraskas, to maybe deal with the Rekindling Phoenix, the Lyras, the Aurelia, things like that that are tougher to answer. It's got 3 mainboard Essence Scatters, which, you know, seems like a lot, but again, it's probably responding to just aggressive decks that will be prominent in the early stages of this format. So, you know, in the Moment of Craving is another card I forgot of. Again, cheap removal and life gain. So that's something else that really tells me this was created with mono red or even Boros Aggro in mind, where it'll remove a cheap creature and then also gain us life, so we can survive the, you know, the lightning strikes, the wizard's lightnings, the risk factors, things like that. The sideboard is 1 Duress, 2 Golden Demise, a couple Sorcerer's Spyglass, 2 Negates, 3 Disdainful Stroke, Arguel's Bloodfast, 3 Thief of Sanity, and then 1 more fungal infection. The Golden Demise, another sweeper. The Duress, more ways to get rid of resources. Thinking control matchups. Mirrors, I should say. Control mirrors. Sorcerer's Spyglass. Planeswalkers, I would think. Something like dealing with Teferi. Maybe they had the Golgari Queen Vraska in mind. Maybe Ral, who knows? But I'm guessing it's mainly Teferi. So a way to deal with activated abilities and to look, at the opponent's hand. And the negates, great for boarding out, say, the Essence Scatters when you're not in creature-based matchups. The 3 Disdainful Strokes for those big creatures like the Boluses, like the Lyras, like the Aurelias. Arguel's Bloodfast. Matchups where I'm guessing you don't really have to worry about your life total. And the Thief of Sanity also for control mirrors, I would think, just because, after boarding, if they remove, or if they get rid of their removal, it's something that they might not be expecting. So we bring in the Thief of Sanity, and then we're able to do combat damage with them. It's more likely anyway, because they don't have that removal. And then we can also mill the top 3 cards of their deck and hopefully get rid of whatever removal that they do have, if any, in the deck, or maybe some other important cards for them. Now, it's certainly not free to mill cards off their deck, for undergrowth or any sort of recursion where we're just putting cards in their graveyard that may work against us. So that's something to think about as well. So it's an interesting deck. I'm going to play with it. I kind of get the idea of what it's trying to do. I think at this specific point in the meta, deal with creatures. But maybe as time goes on, we cut an Essence Scatter or maybe 1 Ritual of Suit, maybe to deal with the control matchups that come out. But I'll have to think about that as it goes. So we'll see. I think I have, like I said, a kind of a grasp on what it's doing now. I'm looking to build this deck on Arena. Guess I kind of made the mistake early on of just throwing everything I had into creating this Boros deck when I didn't really know what I wanted to play. If, like I said, I had the idea, I wouldn't mind playing Grixis. But I just went with this, and we're working with it. And it's still a great way to actually play the game, and be familiar with a Boros type deck. This one in particular didn't really seem to come out. As far as the lists I've seen in the events that happened this past weekend, there was Boros Angels, Mono Red. And I think there were other Boros type decks, but I think they were maybe more powerful than this. But anyway, I'm thinking because I do want to get in a couple matches. Got the trusty exogenous ketones here to keep me alert and ready. What was I going to try? I was thinking of the Chain Whirlers have been fairly tough to really play on curve, and I think it's sort of hurt me in my matches. So I've been wanting to see what kind of 3-drops are out there to maybe replace it. And I'm thinking maybe I can play a couple History of Benalias. It's a really strong card. There's 4 in my sideboard, so I can play a couple of those. And maybe see if there's anything else I can put in for that those 2 slots that are left. I need this guy for that Is It Control deck that I want to play. I had something in mind. I'm just forgetting what it is. Oh, that's right, the Skynet Legionnaire. It's a great card in Limited. I don't really know how it'll perform in Constructed, in all honesty. I mean, 2 toughness. It'll just get rocked by cheap removal. But I do like the flying. I do like the haste. And, of course, it is in the Boros colors. As far as Mentor goes, it'll obviously work with Tajik. It'll also work with the Goblin Banneret. So, I mean, I can try it. And now we're getting to Celestia. I just don't know about the Chain Whirler. It's been hard to hit the 3 mountain on curve, and then it kind of just ends up stuck in my hand. So, I mean, let's try it. Why not? Alright, so I will remove the Chain Whirler and then go with 2 Skynet Legionnaire, and then we'll go 2 History of Benalia in the main board. And it is a knight too, so it synergizes well with History of Benalia. I do have to put 2 cards in the sideboard now. Citywide Bust. Justice Strike would actually be pretty nice, I think. So that deals nicely with... do I not have that card? Oh yeah, no, it's not a... Hold on, gotta take that filter off. So I have 2, perfect. Okay, so we'll put 2 of those in the sideboard. It deals nicely with Lyra. And let me see, I guess things, you know, like Chain Whirler, Lyra, what else is there? There's some flying 3/3s, I think. Anyway, we'll just put it in there for now. But we'll try out the Skynet Legionnaire and then see what happens. I mean, that works well. 2 flyers. So, okay. Let's do that. Play a couple games here. We're looking to grind and get these mythics and rares that I do need. I did get a mythic wild card off of a pack that I earned through rewards. So I'll probably... Let's see... That Is It deck, I need 4 of the Sulphur Falls, and then I need Sarkans as well. So, I mean, maybe I just go with the Sarkin. I think this deck, the list that I saw plays 3. So, I mean, I'm a lot closer to finishing this than I am the Grixis Control. So I could probably, I think I'll probably just go with that. So let's go Sarkin. Not collected. Fireblood.
You will feel the lick of my flames.
Okay, cool. And we get closer. We're at 51? 51. Alright, so not too far off. In the meantime... Yep, invalid. Let's play. So we'll just do some competitive play. Get a better idea of the decks that are out there. Having the ability to sideboard is really important too. Figure out how to deal with matchups. Obviously test the sideboard. You could do just those quick games, but they're only a single match, and I rarely play those because I do want the chance to, like I said, to sideboard because it's really important. Now with this deck, let's see. And the main thing here for today is just kind of understanding what the deck wants to do. And in this particular Boros, I mean, we're just looking to get cheap creatures out. Mentor, you know, increase toughness and power, and and just attack and beat our opponents down. So 4 lands, I am on the play. I do have a Knight of Grace. I mean, this is pretty slow. Odds are this Knight of Grace is just gonna die. So let's mulligan here. Okay, so I think this is better. Although it's not great because both are tapped lands, so definitely not great. So kind of works against itself here. Do I think I want a land? So it's unfortunate. If it was just a mountain or basic mountain or plains in the clifftop retreat, that would be so nice. But hopefully it's a slower matchup. So it looks like is it? Another tap land coming in. So let's hope we draw a land. So then we can get, what do? I think they're at 2 mana, so they're gonna have some sort of removal. Okay, so that if I hit a land here and I don't, I would have played Tajik. Now that I did not hit a land, they're not black, so that hexproof isn't great. I think... Removal will work against... 2 damage removal will work against the Knight of Grace. Do I want them to use it? So let's just go to combat here. Attack. And then we'll play the Knight of Grace. So really looking for a land right now. They're going to be at 3 mana, so Sinister Sabotage is a possibility. Okay, that was anticipated. That's fine. There we go. Okay, so hopefully they have just Shock now, and my Challenger can stay alive. Then again, if I play Tajik here, it is at risk of getting shocked. So, do I play the Challenger? Maybe they don't have it and I can get an attack out. So let's try to get that Mentor trigger, because if I do, it'll really change the game. Okay, and we do. Alright, awesome. So they don't have a shock. Maybe they had another lightning strike. If they have removal, they'll get rid of Tajik this turn, I would think. Although, it's not giving any more. Actually, it would. If I play the Legion War Boss... Okay, they have white, so Jeskai. Okay, so Ixalan's binding. We got the Mentor trigger out, so it did get some value. We play the War Boss. He's tapped out. So we're going to go in for 3 here. Okay. 2 attackers, unfortunately no land. And we're sitting on 2 Boros Challengers, which isn't great. I'm looking for a 4th land, and I want to get the big guys out, like Aurelia. They're at 4. Monsters in sight. Okay, so there's our 4th land. They have 2 Jumpstart cards. So I get another Legion War Boss out. I attack with the other Legion War Boss, get Mentor trigger. I think that's the thing to do. They're tapped out. So we'll get in for 6. Attack here, attack here. I mean, why not? Like, they're tapped out. Let's just get in for damage. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So if they can't deal with this, then of course we move on to game 2. But we'll see. They may just drop something huge. And they've conceded. Okay, so Jeskai, what will they... They'll probably bring in like a Lyra or, you know, something really big. Maybe some other angel or... So I'm on the draw, so I think that's 7 cards. I think these become a lot less good. 2 more Benalia, 7, that's 5 cards, 2 binding. I think the bindings will be really nice here. So I think 1 more card, oh, 3 more, okay. Justice Strike. Do I bring in my own Lyras? One. I don't know, it feels like a lot if I bring in the Justice Strikes. Just like too much removal for a control matchup. I've got the Benalias, I've got the 2 binding. I mean, they will come up with something just to throw down in front of my guys, I'm pretty sure, or a History of Benalia on their end as well, right? So, what do I need? 2 cards. Maybe Experimental Frenzy. That might be pretty good here too. Let's give it a shot. I'll do 3. I haven't really played that card. I mean, I've boarded it in, but I've never actually drawn it, so. 5 lands, I'm on the draw. I mean, it will be a slower matchup, I think, but I don't want them getting off to an amazing start either. You know, accumulating a lot of lands, stuff like that. I feel like I do need to get threats on the board relatively early. So it looks like they are heavily debating whether to keep the hand or not. I don't mind my shuffling here. I kind of just like to do this. Do I keep it? Sure. So I can play the Sacred Foundry tapped and then pretty much go from there. They play a tap land. Okay, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Alright, so play this tapped, go ahead. So by the time I can play Benalia, they're gonna be at, I guess, 4 mana, granted that they have the mana, and they don't get mana starved or anything like that. So I gotta watch out for Sinister Sabotage. Okay, Knight of Grace. I mean, we have a 2-drop. That's pretty good. Clifftop Retreat, and they may scatter. They might have brought in Essence Scatters or had them. So that's okay though if they do scatter this. You know, give it a shot. Okay, come in. So play third land and then maybe shock. Or if they don't remove it and they leave, okay, they don't have 2 blue sources. Okay, so I want that, I have 2 white. So I can either get Sky Knight Legionnaire in and probably force removal, or I can get History of Benalia out while they only have 1 blue source. But they also likely have Conclave or Ixalan's Binding, and that's on 4 mana, so I think I do the Benalia while I can. Okay. Them not having that... Okay, no, there it is. So I've also got to consider Settle the Wreckage now. Search for a Scanta. Okay, so that mana's not up. So I can play my 4th mana here. Get Aurelia out. I have 2 of them in my hand. So let's give it a shot. 3, 4. All attack. Okay, I don't like that they have Search for a Scanta now. This is not great. If they leave 4 mana up, I have to be careful of Settle the Wreckage. Really careful. So I think if they just leave it... Okay, fair enough. So next turn... Alright, so they had answers for pretty much everything. So, Sky Knight Legionnaire. Tajik is also a good draw. I am at 5 mana. Let's see, what do I play first? I think the Sky Knight Legionnaire, and that may force them to use some sort of removal. Then I can bring out Tajik if they don't, and then give it Mentor trigger. I do want to be aggressive here. I mean, it has white. I would think it has to. Yeah, okay. Alright, so fair enough. They're at 3 mana now. They Field of Ruin. Okay. That's fine. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I have 3 red sources. So I'll just go with the plains. Okay, that's actually pretty good if it goes on here. If this game goes a little bit long. So that'll put me at 6. Do I want to play both the I don't think so. I think I'll just play Tajik for now. Get in for 3 damage. And I have... Oh, okay. Oh no, he's tapped. He attacked. I was thinking the 2 mana for first strike, but he's not doing any blocking. So they're at 7. Okay, they've shocked. Okay, so I was waiting for that guy. End combat, my turn. So now I'm at 7 mana. what I can do is, let's see, I can play Aurelia, give Tajik the +2. And then what that does, and first strike. So what that does is force him to sacrifice the Niv Mizzet in order to stay alive. So let's do that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I have, again, the first strike trigger, which would be really nice. So we'll go to combat. And we will give him first strike. Okay, so that's pretty huge. And then we can do, if they can't deal with the Aurelia, we can do the same thing. Okay, so there is Big T.
I know my responsibility. Let's take it back.
Okay, so we're doing 4. So if I play the Experimental Frenzy, that's 3 mana, that'll leave me with 4. If I play the Legion War Boss, that's 3, 5, 7, so that'll leave me with 4 mana. I get in for 4 with Mentor, right? So I think he just dies then. 2, 3. And I just attack. What is going on? Oh, okay. Yeah. Mentor, and they take 5. Okay, so that worked out well. Worked out really well. I don't know that it could have worked out better in that scenario. But it's good that I saw it. You know, I saw the line. I really wanted to use Experimental Frenzy there because, I don't know, just the novelty of the card, I suppose. But, you know, I'm glad I saw that line. I don't know that it would have been that hard to see. Maybe it wasn't, but, you know, that's something I'm trying to get better at, is just seeing all of the different lines that come up. And we get a pack, sweet. Let's open it. And we get another Experimental Frenzy. Okay, and because it was just facing us like that, that means we have more than 4. And we are 1 pack away from a rare wild card, which is Swank. So let us play one more. So is it? Been seeing that a fair bit. I mean, that Niv Mizzet, the Perrin, or Parun, however you say it, looks pretty sweet. It looks really sweet. And if I wasn't able to deal with it that turn, it would have been big trouble, I think. Let's see. This is okay, I guess. I'm on the play. We have 3 mana for Tajik. That's nice. Can't play the Clifftop Retreat or the Goblin Banneret on our first turn, which is a little annoying. But what we can do is potentially just play the Knight of Grace first, and then on 3 mana, play the Banneret. No, that would have to come in later, but I think I'll keep it. So they've stayed at 7 as well. Stoned Avenger. I was gonna say Stone Davenger, but okay, we play Clifftop Retreat. You know what, it probably would have been better to play the Plains. And then just, you know, we're not giving him the information, right, that I'm Boros. Instead, we are... Okay, so we're gonna play that. And then the Knight of Grace, I think that's a really good blocker here. So I should have played the Plains, and then it also just leaves up a mana. And then they think, okay, well, what could he possibly have? So I shouldn't have played the Clifftop Retreat. Yep. Alright, so... 3 mana. Odds are they're gonna... He can't pump the Banneret. Let's see, what do I play here? I could play only 1 Goblin Banneret. Legion Warboss. Odds are they're gonna have removal. I'll get in for 1 because he's probably not gonna trade the Goblin. And then I get value out of that Goblin. So I mean, I'm guessing Legion Warboss is just gonna die. Yeah, okay, that's fine. What is it? 4 damage or 3 cards? Let's see. How to risk do 4 damage. If you decline, your opponent draws 3 cards. Okay, so just take the damage. I don't know that I want to... Do I want to trade? I'll get the Mentor trigger. With the Tajik. I mean, that Aurelia is nice. Land would be nice too. So we're gonna get the Mentor trigger here. He probably wasn't expecting me to trade, and whether that was the right play, I don't know, honestly. But I took the 4 damage. I didn't want to take another 2. He can't pump the Goblin. I mean, he might just block. I gotta be careful too. I mean, I can't just swing for the fences every time. Because, you know, obviously he's an aggressive deck. Chain Whirler, okay. No land once again. So... The first strike, I can play the Banneret. And then potentially... Let's see, what do I do? I get another Mentor trigger, and then I attack with both, see who he blocks with the Chain Whirler, and then I can give him a +2/+2. Okay, blockers declared. I'm going to give Tajik +2/+2. Okay, that's decent, I guess. I'd love to hit a 4th land. Risk factor's probably coming up soon. He can pump the banneret. If you decline, your opponent draws 3 cards. Go ahead. He's debating whether he attacks. Okay. So, if I play Aurelia, it'll give the goblin another mentor trigger when Tajik attacks. I mean, if I have him attack, because then I can't give him first strike, right? If I just attack here, I can give him first strike. But I can give the banneret mentor as well. This is a tough one. So I go to combat. I could attack with just the banneret and the goblin, and then pump the banneret. Well, I've missed that opportunity. Or I could just leave the 3/3 behind. I have another Tajik. We'll do that. He'll trade with Tajik. Leave the 3/3 back. Okay, so he's not... Yeah, because I guess he's worried about the first strike. Okay, so damage. You take 8. And then now I can play the Aurelia. Or Aurelia. So they're at 4 land. I've missed a land drop twice, so they've missed 2 as well. No, 1. If you decline, your opponent draws 3 cards. You can draw 3 cards. He's got 2 mana to work with. I think I can win next turn. 4, 7. I think I can win next turn. Okay, now I'm pretty sure I can win next turn. So I have Tajik. Say he has a shock. He gets rid of 1 Tajik. I can pump the Aurelia. If he has a fight with fire, which he probably doesn't. It's probably in the board, the sideboard. So I think I play this. Oh, yeah. No, that's right. Legendary rule. Okay, so in that case, let's go to combat. Or I give the Tajik, I mean, it doesn't have trample, he can block it, but it gives... So, okay, let's do this. Because I can do 3 damage to him, so 4, 7. There's 10 power on the board. I think I could just finish the game with the intervention. So I'll give the Aurelia +2. It's a 4/5. What's happening? Am I just talking too much and it's his turn? Oh, maybe I got timed out. Oh, okay. Well, that's too bad. Guess I gotta speed up a little, boys. Because I had game there. Okay. Okay, attack. I don't think he can attack with anything. My turn. My turn. So we play Tajik. That's unfortunate. I had game there. Okay, so he'll get first strike. What do I want to get give trample? 4 to 5. I mean, they'll trade. 4. Okay. Combat. I mean, the most power will be on the goblin. If it's red, 2-0 and trample, yeah. Okay. So he's responding. I can go with mentor will be, well, I want Tajik first. It's a 3/6. I can give Tajik, well, I should have given Tajik first strike there. So I can give it 2/2. 7, so 4. Yeah, so let's see. Okay. Yep. So they're down to 1. And then I play that. So that's fine, I guess. I mean, they have a fair amount of resources right now. I mean, I'm sure there was a better way to play that. Like, I just... So what wins me the game? Okay, that wins me the game. That definitely wins me the game. Okay, so I'm on the draw. So these guys are gonna be pretty useless. Things settle. The wreckage is really good here. Lyra's really good here. Deafening Clarion's good. He has Rekindling Phoenix, so I think this and this. I'm at 60 right now. Deafening Clarion. Integrity. Justice Strike. I mean, what do they bring in? Cannonades? No. I mean, do I want to do Deafening Clarion over the Integrity? I think Integrity is really good for trading and also just burn. Tajik doesn't trade that well. I think maybe flyers are nice. Let's go shave one of those and go with that. Okay. I'm on the draw, no early creatures. I do have a Deafening Clarion that I can play on turn 3. Let's keep it. I don't know, I haven't played this matchup a ton, so I just want to see. That's good if I get a white source. So I'm gonna play this tapped. I need my life total. 2-drop comes down. Okay. Gur ahead. So I don't know that they'll get. Yep, resolve. Resolve. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Oh, white source would have been great. One, two, three. Okay, so let's hope we get a white source. Worst case scenario. Yep. We are just getting red sources galore, my friends. Okay. So we can get in for 2. I really don't think that's that meaningful. If they have a shock or something, they can get by Aurelia. But I can pump it. No, I can't. I'm at 4 mana. I mean, I do have another one, I guess. It's some consolation. Or do I do 3 damage to... No. I was thinking maybe I do 3 damage using the Integrity Intervention. But, I mean, that just feels bad. You can draw 3 cards. So 2. Okay. I'm at 5 mana. I can play the Sky Knight Legionnaire and get in for 5. Sorry, for 4. I'm guessing he has removal. If he does, I pump it, I think. And then save it. I think that's a pretty good idea. One, two, three. Combat. I will just pump her or him. Whatever it is. Let's go one attacker. Damage. Okay. And we end. So the vigilance is really nice. I could potentially block with the Skynet Legionnaire. Yeah, okay. Resolve. So, do I save the Legionnaire? I think so. Because I can block now too. And if he wants to trade, I'd really love a white source. It's 3 damage. Do I want to trade? Yeah, I'm not even trading. It's the first strike. I am fool, my friends, fool. So I can play the Sacred Foundry and take 2, go down to 9. Then I can play History of Benalia, and then kind of just throw some bodies down. Or I can throw the War Boss down. Enter that tapped. I do have vigilance. 2, 3. So it would also give the Goblin Mentor. I mean, it's gonna die anyway. I don't think that really matters. Do I do... I mean, it has vigilance. I mean, he could be worried about me pumping it. I guess not. Oh, okay. Interesting. So he was probably worried about me pumping it. Did he not take damage there? So 3, I'm doing 2 damage. Well, yeah. I can trade, I'll throw another, what am I at? 4, 6 mana. If I hit a land, I can play both. I think at this point I have to. So he could burn me out right now. Yeah. If you decline, they draw 3 cards. I think I'm dead either way. Lyra. Well, I don't know that that really helps. No lifelink. All right, we are on to the next game. So I guess a little slower than I wanted it to be. And they hit 3 Chain Whirlers, which was really fortunate for them. I mean, maybe that warrants Justice Strike, in all honesty. I mean, a Johnny, is it really that? I think I'm gonna board out a Johnny. A Janny. Do the Justice Strikes. Just works great against Chain Whirler. The Hasted Lava Runners. What else are they dealing with? I don't know. I'm on the play. That's pretty good. 2 white sources. White and red. I can play the Knight of Grace turn 2, the Challenger turn 2, get the Legion War Boss, and then I have Lyra, which is great. So turn 1 I play the Mountain, or the Sacred Foundry I should say, tapped. I'll keep that. Okay, so they've mulliganed. Little mulligatani from our opponent. So Sacred Foundry, play that tapped. Hopefully they don't have like Fanatical Firebrand or something and then can get off to a really quick start. So they probably have a Shock, which makes me want to play the Boros Challenger. And it trades well too. I mean, it's a good blocker, I should say. They can't kill it with Shock. I mean, they can kill it with Lightning Strike, but hey, I mean, if they want to use a Lightning Strike, they can use a Lightning Strike. So what are they thinking of doing here? Okay. That was a little bizarre. Like, what are you gonna do with 1 mana? Okay, so they are mana stuck, which is great for me. Play this. I can play the War Boss and then mentor the Goblin. I think that is a great move here. But they could Shock, I guess. They probably have a Shock. So they are contemplating. Yep. Okay. 2 attackers. I still get the value out of it, which is nice. I have another one, which I can play next turn and then get another mentor trigger, and they've conceded. Okay. So that tells me that they just did not draw land. They probably should have mulliganed to 5. Okay, so I guess kind of anticlimactic to win that way, but at the same time, that's the way it goes. All right, so we get 1150 gold. That's what I'm talking about. Get packs, and we'll get a rare wild card too, so that's cool. Tajik. I mean, after the 4, they should just, if it's a rare or above, they should allow you to just convert it to a rare wild card. Like, honestly. Okay. So, what do we learn here? How have I changed this? So, the Sky Knight Legionnaire, I mean, the Flyer Haste, I really don't know. I think it seems to go fairly well with Aurelia. I mean, it doesn't go with the mentor aspect of it, but it can be, I mean, can it really be mentored? I guess by the Goblin Banneret, but that, excuse me, that just feels bad. I mean, Tajik can mentor. That I'm glad I played that aggressive matchup because there's gonna be a lot of it. Knight of Grace didn't feel great. I mean, and really will it? There seemed to be a lot of black right now, which is why I put it in the deck. And it single-handedly won me a match. I mean, just because my opponent couldn't deal with the hexproof from black. Let's see. You know what? I like the synergy between Aurelia and Skynet Legionnaire. It can pump it while leaving the... I mean, you can leave the Aurelia back, or, you know, give the Skynet Legionnaire vigilance. So you have that. But we'll see. The History of Benalia main board, I don't really know about. There's a lot of creatures right now. I mean, this is a creature-based deck. But I do kind of like it with the Integrity intervention card. I mean, particularly Integrity. It really does well in allowing you to trade favorably. Or, of course, mentor your creatures. You know, that could work well with Skynet Legionnaire. You know, attack with a Boros Challenger, pump it with Integrity, and then you can mentor the Skynet Legionnaire. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not seeing the card in any of the lists online and all that kind of thing. So whether it's really widely known as a great card, it's a great card in Limited, I know that, but in Constructed, we'll see. The Hunted Witness and the Banneret are feeling much less impactful these days, but I don't know. We'll see. The deck will evolve. I'm just trying to change it and adjust it as I see what I'm playing in the meta. I think the Justice Strikes are pretty good. You know, it's really important, I'm finding, to be observant of your games. Very closely observe your games and just see what's working, what's not. So I think I'll keep the Justice Strikes in there. I mean, the black decks seem to have a lot of, say, 2/2. The green, Pelt Collector, what else? I mean, Gonti, you know, that was Galta, where Justice Strike could work. Jade Light Rangers, things like that, where maybe Justice Strike can be effective. Experimental Frenzy, I haven't used it yet, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, a Johnny is nice, but I could probably see it more in the sideboard, in all honesty. Perhaps against creature-based mirrors, where you maybe want to pump up your creatures. That way they trade favorably and can mentor more favorably. So I'm thinking maybe a Johnny's better in the sideboard. What I put in, I'm not quite sure. Like what I put in place of it. Not quite sure. But I don't know. It's all a process. So we got one rare. What am I doing? So what can we... Is there anything we can do for our Is It deck? We can get Sulfur Falls. I mean, I feel so far away from building this Grixis control deck. Do I contribute to it? I mean, I think I should just finish this Is It control deck. Spending the wild card on land never really feels bad. I mean, land is land. Check lands doesn't feel as great as the shock lands. Just because, I mean, the shock lands will... Well, no, I'm thinking more of in paper Magic. They'll always be relevant, but Arena, I mean, they'll obviously be relevant for a while within Standard, but after that, they're not really going to help me in Arena, I suppose. But, well, who knows where Arena will be in, 2 years. So, let's go with the... Sulfur Falls. Sukfur. That is not what we're looking for here. Not collected. Bounce. We use 1. And there we are. There we are, boys. We're closer. We're at 52. 2 more Sarkhan Firebloods. Or Sarkhan. And the Sulfur Falls, 3 more. So that'd be 5, and then it looks like we're missing 3 from the main deck. I'd have to look back and see what the other cards are that are missing. Sinister Sabotage, Negates, Chemist's Insights are there. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to look at it. Or maybe I'm missing... I know I'm missing cards from the sideboard, too. But it'll get along there. It'll get along. The Boros deck seems to be doing fairly well for me. So it's allowing me to get the packs, work the economy, get what I need. But anyway, that's it for episode 2 of the beginner's journey, or the journey of an MTG beginner. And you know, this episode for me, or this around this time, is just really trying to understand what the decks do. You know, it's one thing to just look at a net deck or something and then just kind of play it. But it's also extremely useful to look at the deck and say, all right, what is it trying to do? You know, what would be an ideal starting hand? You know, what's my curve? Where do I want to end up on turn 4, ideally? What is each card's role in this deck? The lands, you know, why are there that many lands in this deck? Do I have any double mana cards that, you know, require 2 of the same color? Okay, is there enough land to cover that? You know, so things like that, questions like that I'm asking myself, that are really just helping me get a greater understanding of the game. So that's where I'm at right now. And finally having this Grixis control deck that I can play in paper, I'm really excited about. I think I'll be, in a couple days, I'll be out playing in person. Tabletop Magic, I mean, ultimately, I think that's what it's all about. Getting out there, meeting people, playing with people, socializing. And you know what, playing online versus tabletop is so different. You know, being able to read people and just see their reactions, and the whole dynamic is different. What Arena's great for, I'm finding, is familiarizing myself with the decks, but also getting used to the stack and seeing when things trigger and that kind of thing. And of course, you do get practice in playing the deck, exposing yourself to different scenarios, situations, circumstances that you have to deal with, getting an idea of what the meta game is. But it really feels like tabletop is just, it's a different beast, so I think it's valuable to play both. And, you know, coming from Pokemon, I really loved the online game for Pokemon. It's just well designed, it looked good, it functioned well. And I'm very happy that Arena is around. I'd love to play MTGO as well, the Magic the Gathering Online. But, I mean, spending the money on repurchasing a deck at this point just seems... it doesn't seem like something I want to do at this point. And I enjoy Standard, and I'd like to focus on it. So Arena just fits the bill for me right now. So... hope you enjoyed the games. Hopefully the insight I'm sharing is useful. Again, this is just more tracking my beginner's journey, insights that I'm picking up, things that I'm picking up that I hope is useful for maybe people that are really just starting out or on a similar path or similar time frame. I mean, I've been playing for almost 7 months now, between 6 and 7 months. So still pretty green as far as the game goes. But anyway, I really want it to be useful. I want to be a positive force in this space and really in all spaces in my life. And if I can do that through Magic, that's awesome. So that's it for this episode. You guys take it easy. I'll be bringing out some new magic games and things like that, but also getting back to calisthenics and jump rope, which is something that I also really enjoy doing. So stay tuned for more content there as well. But till then, I'll see you guys later.